Previous pass to get on through, picking up the points. It's back now, comes through. They're stuck really on the turn number 2. .09 it is then. Nat of Nine Tails jamming for Eastvic. So early stages of this one. Dragon City on 15. Picking up 8 points on that previous jam. Which is of Eastvic yet to open their account. 55 then it is jamming for Eastvic. That's Cupcake Fairy. And 12:08 jamming for Dragon City. That's Smack. Nice bit of defensive work there by number 2 there. That's Evie for Eastvic. As the pack now comes into turn number 3. Smack has seen enough and called that one off. Number 1-3 then jamming for Eastvic. Knives to meet you. And of course number 4-7 Alice jamming then for Dragon City as the pack now gets a little bit of speed coming through into turn number 2. both teams aiming to try and get out front and bring about as much defensive pressure as possible. So 3-5-1, that's Ra jamming for Eastvic. Number 5-1. And jamming for Dragon City's Mellon. Unfortunately picking up a penalty. As push-up Ra also picking up a penalty. That releases Mellon out of the penalty box. As the pack then eagerly awaiting for Mellon to get on through. But nice little gap on the inside part of turn 2 allowed Mellon to get on through. And he's just setting about now, just adding as many points rather to the Dragon City total as possible. 3-5-1 push-up Ra also been released out of the penalty box. Now back out on track. Now as the pack now coming down the back straightaway. Eastvic defensively working very, very hard to try and hold up Mellon just as long as they possibly can, but just the slightest gap on the inside part of turn number 3 is all Mellon needed. And again at the back of the pack, Dragon City blockers doing everything possible to try and stop the Eastvic jammer, but that one runs its natural course. So early stages of this game between Dragon City and the Witches of Eastvic see Dragon City Nerd on 32 and the Witches of Eastvic on 8. As we get this one underway. Jamming for Eastvic, getting on through, picking up lead jam, and is number 4, Strawberry Short Skate. Nice move there through the inside part of turn number 2 for Strawberry Short Skate on that previous pass. Unfortunately for 12.08 for Dragon City Nerd. That's Smack picking up a penalty. So it'll be a power jam now for Eastvic. So just trying to push through and successfully doing so on that previous pass on the inside part of turn number 3. Strawberry Short Skate getting on through. Just the one blocker now to get past. That's number 10, 1-0 KTKO. So a nice jam there for Eastvic, picking up 12 points, moves them along to 20. And Dragon City Nerd on 32. So it is then number 55, that's Cupcake Fairy jamming for Eastvic. And jamming for Dragon City Nerd is 9-5, that's Keza Kaboom, unfortunately picking up a penalty. Pack now slowly moving through turn at number 1. It is a power jam in for Eastvic, so Cupcake Fairy is going to want to try and maximise this and try and get as many points as possible. As the pack then coming down the back straight away, Cupcake Fairy gets on through. Not before Keza Kapow was released out of the penalty box, back out on track. Nice move then from Keza Kapow on that previous pass to get on through. It's the penalty box now, seeing 2 skaters make their way to the penalty box. Number 47, that's Alice, and number 6. Bad juju, both to serve some time in the penalty box. Brings about an end to that jam. Just the 8 points then added to Dragon City Nerd, taking them up to 40. And 5 points then for the Witches of Eastvic, moving them along to 25. So 1, 3 knives to meet you, jamming then for Witches of Eastvic. And Argy Bargy, number 2, jamming for Dragon City. So we get this one underway then. Number 5, 1 jamming for Dragon City Nerd. And that of course is Mellon getting on through, picking up lead jammer. Nice work there from Mellon on that previous pass to get through and get some more points then for Dragon City Nerd. 3-5-1 then it is Push Up Bra jamming for the Witches of Eastvic. Being recycled from turn 2 all the way back to the midpoint of the main straightaway by number 10, that was KTKO. But 4 more points then by Mellon being added to the Dragon City Nerd total. Nice move then from Mellon on that previous pass off of the inside part of turn number 2. The pack now making its way down the back straightaway. And fair to say the Dragon City Nerd defence there giving Push Up Ra plenty to think about. Not saying that Mellon getting on through, adding another 4 points. Nice move then from Ra taking the outside part of turn 3 on that previous pass. Handy 24-point jam there from Mellentham, Dragon City Nerd, pushing them along to 64, and Witches of Eastvic on 25. So we have then number 4-7, that's Alice jamming for DCRD Nerd. 1-3, nice to meet you, jamming for Eastvic, getting on through, picking up lead jammer. And the pack now coming through turn number 2. Eastvic, the blockers there ready to welcome Alice. He's trying to find a way through the inside part of turn number 3, but gets to the outside part of turn 4, gets on through. Meanwhile, back on the back straightaway, nice to meet you. Coming up against KTKO, which is never an easy task. Just calls it off, had enough. Picking up 8 points in the process, moving the Witches of Eastvic along to 30. They're currently sitting on 69 with the 2 jammers eagerly awaiting the start of this next jam. It is number 55, Cupcake Ferry, up against number 22, Argy Bargy. And getting on through, picking up lead jammer, it is Cupcake Ferry for the Witches of Eastvic. As the pack now sense what's going on, they get a bit of speed up, heading down the back straightaway. Cupcake Ferry just met solidly there by the Dragon City defence. Argy Bargy, they found a way through and picking up 4 points in the process. Both jammers picking up 4 points in that previous jam. Dragon City Nerd now sit on 73, Witches of Eastvic on 37. And we've got just on 11.5 minutes to go. As Dragon City Nerd have called for a team timeout. Again, just a shout out and a massive thank you to all of our refs and NSOs here today giving up their time so we can go derby. We really do appreciate each and every one of you. So thank you to all our refs and NSOs. We really do appreciate it. So that whistle means so we get this one underway. It is then number 4, Strawberry Short Skate, jamming for the Witches of Eastvic. And we have number 5-0 then jamming for Dragon City Nerd. And that, of course, is Mummy Dearest. First time we've seen Mummy Dearest jamming in this game. As the pack now slowly making its way through turn number 3 right in front of us here. Both teams going very hard at it defensively, of course. Hit to the inside, Mummy Deer is recycled almost back to the midpoint of the back straightaway. Trying to find a way through at the front of the pack, but it's not on offer. So just the 2 more blockers to get through. Mummy Dearest gets on through nicely. And the instruction coming then to call that one off. Of course, after bagging 4 more points. So with 10 minutes to go, we see Dragon City Nerd on 77. The Witches of Eastvic on 37. Correction, that is 80 for Dragon City Nerd. So 80 playing 37. So number 2, Argy Bargy, it is then the lone jammer on track for Dragon City Nerd. Nice bit of skating there for Argy, which is a Eastvic. For Argy Bargy though, the initial is all done. It's all about point scoring passes now. 4 points already been added to the total. Nice bit of footwork there from the inside part of turns 1 and 2. Gets Argy Bargy through. And another 4 points. So the star pass in successfully completed for 1-3. That's Knives to meet you, but I'm not going to work on this occasion. Argy Bargy was more than well aware of what was going on and called it off. So 12 points then being added to the Dragon City Nerd score, pushing them along to 89. As we get this one underway, so it is then number 5 Cupcake Fairy jamming for the Witches of Eastvic. Getting on through, picking up lead jam up. It is Cupcake Fairy for Eastvic. So 12:08, then it is a smack jamming for Dragon City. For a little bit of speed about it as well. So smack just trying to navigate their way through the front 2 blockers there from Eastvic. Successfully doing so, picking up 4 points. And Cupcake Fairy seen enough and called it off. So 8 points then being added to the Witches of Eastvic, moving them along to 45. Dragon City Nerd picking up 4 points, they're sitting on 93. As the Witches of Eastvic call for a team timeout. So a big shout out then to the sponsors for today's round 2 of the statewide stampede for 2022. Of course, Skate Victoria, Aussie Broadband, NCF Exports, and Nine Creeks Consulting. Thank you very, very much for your support for today. So 1-3, Knives to meet you, the jammer then for Eastvic. Wasting no time getting on through, picking up lead jammer. There's a pack now coming through turn number 1. So it looks like number 50 then jamming for Dragon City Nerd. So it's Murray Dearest picking up a penalty, unfortunately. Nice to meet you, just getting on through, picking up points to hopefully close the gap up a little bit. It is a power jam for Eastvic, so a great opportunity for Knives to pick up some points. So Mummy Dearest then released out of the penalty box, back out on track as a pack now coming through turn number 3. Nice to meet you, gets on through, but seen enough and called it off. Not before 16 points were added to the Witches of Eastvic. Moving them along now to 61. Dragon City Nerd on 93. So it is then 3-5-1. And I believe that is 22. Argy Bargy jamming for Dragon City Nerd and getting lead. As all the defensive moves are being made off of turn number 2. So both jammers picking up 3 points on that previous jam. So this one gets underway, 1-3, Knives to meet you, the jam, and then for Eastvic. Up against 9-5, that's Keswick Kapow. Jamming for Dragon City Nerd. Lead jammer going the way of Keswick Kapow. Took a bit of a dive and slide and thought, nah, that'll do. Not before picking up 4 points in the process. That 4 points has a Dragon City Nerd on 100 and the Witches of Eastvic on 64. Let's see ourselves under an official timeout. Yep. So we get this one back up on the way. 5-5 Cupcake Ferry jamming for the Witches of Eastvic. And looks like number 4-7, and it is indeed 4-7, Alice jamming then for Dragon City. Nerd. And getting on through, picking up lead jammer, it is Alice. Quick jam there for Alice, just picking up the 3 points. 3/4 minutes remaining in this first half game between Dragon City Nerd and the Witches of Eastvic. As this one gets underway, 1-3 Knives to meet you jamming for the Witches of Eastvic. Coming through then for Dragon City, that's number 5-1, that's Melon. So both jammers now, the initial pass is done. It's all about point scoring from here on in as the pack make their way down the back straight away. So we then have 12:08 Smack jamming for Dragon City Nerd up against 351 Push Up Ra, the jammer for the Witches of Eastvic. But it's Smack getting on through, picking up lead jammer for Dragon City. As the pack now gets some speed about it, coming into turn number 3. Smack has seen enough and called it off. And adding just the 2 points to Dragon City Nerd. So for the next game, can we have all the captains and alternates for the next game behind the penalty box, please? Captains and alternates for the next game. Can you please make your way behind to the penalty box area? And I believe that brings us to the half-time point in this game between Dragon City and Nerd, or Dragon City Nerd I should say, and the Witches of Eastvic. Dragon City on 109, Witches of Eastvic on 71. We're going to take a short 14-minute break, and we'll be back shortly with the second half action. So we get this one back underway. So we have number 1, 3, Knives to Meet You, jamming for the Witches of Eastvic. And just like that, Knives to Meet You gets on through, picking up lead jammer. And 9-5, Keza Kapow, jamming for Dragon City Nerd. Bit of a hit and quit it approach there for Eastvic to start this second half, picking up just the 4 points. Moves them along to 75, playing at 109. "5-5 Cupcake Fairy," the jammer for Eastvic, up against 2-2. Argy Bargy jamming for Dragon City Nerd. And it is Argy Bargy then getting on through, picking up lead jammer. It's back now coming on through off of turn, or in between turns 1 and 2. Argy Bargy just trying to find a way, and successfully so, through the outside part of turn 2. Has seen enough and called it off. It's a 5-1 Melon, the lone jam on a track for Dragon City Nerd. As both teams go to work trying to hold up these jammers. But Melon getting on through first, picking up lead jammer. As the pack now comes down the back straightaway. It's got a bit of pace about it too, I might add. So neither team picking up any points on that previous jam. So Nice to Meet You and Alice, the two jammers out on track. Nice to Meet You for Eastvic and Alice for Dragon City. And it's Nice to Meet You getting on through first, picking up lead jammer. As the pack sorts itself out coming into turn number 3. They're all trying to jostle for the best position, trying to get up front, but Nice was way too quick for that, got the points and called it off. Picked up 3 points, in fact, moving the Witches of Eastvic along to 78. Dragon City Nerd on 113. So it is 5-5 rather. Cupcake Fairy jamming for the Witches of Eastvic, getting on through, picking up lead jammer. And number 9-5, Keza Kapow, jamming for Dragon City Nerd. This pack now starts to come into turn number 3. So then 3 more points being added to Eastvic. Moving along to 81. So as we get this one underway, 12:08 smack. Jamming for Dragon City Nerd. And we have then number 13, Knives to Meet You, jamming for the Witches of Eastvic as the pack now comes into turn number 3. Nice move there from Knives to Meet You on the outside part of turn 3 to get on through. Bit of a hit off there to the outside part of turn 3, and Knives. Nice to meet you. Had seen enough of that. But not before adding 6 more points to the Witches of Eastvic. Eastvic on 87. Dragon City Nerd on 114. Same time it gets us underway. And again jamming for Eastvic. 1-3, Knives to Meet You, gets on through, picks up lead jammer. Now comes through the back straightaway. Good bit of defensive work there from Dragon City. KTKO involved in all of that, as was Keza Kapow. Whilst all that was going on, Smack was released back to the track out of the penalty box. Pack coming through into turn number 2. KTKO just putting on all the heat onto Nice to Meet You, back down in turn number 2. So another 7 points then been added to the Witches of Eastvic. Dragon City Nerd, 4th consecutive jam without adding to their total. They're sitting on 114. Slowly but surely, Eastvic are chipping away at this lead. It's only 20 points in it as we get this one underway. 5-5 Cupcake Fairy jamming for Eastvic. See the jammer then for Dragon City. Of course it was 2-2 Argy Bargy. So it is then 1-3, Nice to Meet You, 47. Alice, the 2 jammers on the jammer start line as we get this one underway. And getting on through, nice bit of footwork to the inside part of the main straightaway. Knives to Meet You, lead jammer, Eastvic. Still a little bit of work to do for Alice, for Dragon City, but gets on through nicely off of turn 2. Again, Nice to Meet You. More than happy just to hit it and quit it. Just pick up those 4 points and stop Dragon City again, adding to their scoreline. Dragon City then called a team timeout, no doubt, to reset. It's very clear what Eastvic are doing in this second half, and it is working. They currently sit on 98, just 16 points behind Dragon City Nerd on 1-1-4. So immediately following this game, we're going to have an absolute cracker of a game with SSRD South Sea Roller Derby taking on Westside Roller Derby. Both teams coming off two very, very strong wins in the opening round here for statewide Stampede. So that should be one heck of a game. And of course, most of the teams here, this is their last real hit out before TGSS or the Great Southern Slam, which will take place in Adelaide, the long weekend, Queen's Birthday long weekend, in around about 4 weeks' time. So a good opportunity for most of the skaters here today to have a final hit out before that event, as we're now awaiting the jam timer to give us that whistle to get us going again. It is 55 Cupcake Fairy, then jamming for the Witches of Eastvic. And it looks like number 6 Bad Juju jamming then for Dragon City Nerd. Getting on through, picking up lead jammer, it is Eastvic. And again, Eastvic doing it nicely, just getting through the points, calling it off. And in the process, stopping Dragon City from adding to their for about 7 consecutive jams. So whatever Eastvic talked about doing at halftime, it is working so far. (1-1-3) Nice to meet you, jamming for the Witches of Eastvic. 9-5 Keswick Kapow jamming for Dragon City Nerd. So again, getting on through, picking up lead jammer, Knives to meet. As the pack now comes down the back straightaway. As Dragon City then set about trying to hold up Knives to meet you, but that's not going to happen, not before Knives picked up 2 more points. So the Witches of Eastvic sitting on 104, just 10 points behind now. Dragon City Nerd on 114. And we're 12 minutes into this second half, so this potentially could go down to the wire as we see 55 Cupcake Fairy and 51 Melon on the jammer start lines as we get this one underway. Melon looking for some space on the inside, not happening. On the outside, getting through, picking up lead jammer, 55 Cupcake Fairy for Eastvic. As the pack now comes through off the turn 2 into the main straightaway. Both teams now defensively trying to sort themselves out. They're trying to get prime position on the track. But working nicely to the outside part on that previous pass. Melon found a nice gap off of turn 4, picked up 4 points in the process. And again, a nice move to the outside part of turn 1 on that previous pass. So another 4 points there for Melon. Breaking the drought of 8 consecutive jams without adding to the score. Another 8 points in for Dragon City Nerd. Moves them along to 122. Not to be outdone, the 3 points then added by Eastvic. Moves them along to 107. So it is then number 6 Bad Juju jamming for Dragon City Nerd up against 1-3 Knives to meet you. And wasting 9 time getting on through, picking up lead jammer. It is Knives to meet you and Eastvic with all the action now taking place down in turn number 1. Oh, big hit by KTKO. But unfortunately went out, which allowed Nice to meet you to get back on track nice and quick. And whilst all that was going on, unfortunately, Bad Juju picking up a penalty. So this is now a power jam for Eastvic. Exactly what they were looking for as the pack come into turn number 3 with a bit of speed about it. Number 9, Natto Ninetails, trying to square up with KTKO. KT having none of it. And Nice to meet you then has been met solidly, and again by KTKO. Putting on something of a masterclass in terms of blocking. But Nice to meet you more than up for the challenge, gets on through, and 4 points in the process picked up. Number 6, Bad Juju, released out of the penalty box, back on track. May just work in their favour as Nice to meet you, sadly picking up a penalty. Oh, Natto Ninetails there just trying to lay one down on Bad Juju, but Bad Juju up for the challenge, gets on through as the pack now comes to a bit of a halt on the back straightaway. This pack now comes into turn number 3. Bad Juju looking forward and getting through on the inside part of turns 3 and 4. Nice to meet you, 1-3, back on track after serving the penalty, and this one will come to its natural conclusion. Nice jam then for Eastvic, picking up 11 points, moving them along to 118. 8 points then added to Dragon City Nerd, moving them along to 130. So just the 12 points separating the two teams. So it is then 55 Cupcake Ferry, 22 Argy Bargy, the two jammers on track. Just trying to navigate through the front part of the pack. And fair to say, with it all to do, Cupcake Ferry, but finding a way through, coming through off of turn number 2. As the pack now enters into turn number 3, and Argy Bargy has seen enough and called that one off. So neither team adding to the score in that previous jam. As we find ourselves now under an official timeout. There's been a slight adjustment to the scoreline from that previous jam, so Dragon City Nerd in fact picked up 2 points and find themselves on 132. So again we have Nice to meet you, 1-3 jamming for Eastvic up against 9-5 Keza Kapow jamming for Dragon City. Getting on through, picking up lead jammer, it is Keza Kapow. So just 2 points in for Dragon City Nerd, moving them along to 134, Witches of Eastvic 118. So we then have 55 Cupcake Fairy jamming for Eastvic, 51 Melon jamming for Dragon City Nerd. Getting through, getting out front, picking up lead jammer. It is Cupcake Fairy. As the pack now coming into turn number 3. A couple of falling skaters there. And 4 points picked up by the Witches of Eastvic. 11:25 to go in this. Witches of Eastvic 122. Dragon City on 134. 22, Argy Bargy. 13, Nice to Meet You. The two jammers out on track, and just like that, Argy Bargy is through, picking up lead jammer. And just a little bit of work to do down into turn 3 here for Argy Bargy. Finally finding a way on through. Nice bit of skating there by 1-3. Nice to meet you to get through KTKA, which is no easy feat. So 4 points in for Eastvic, 126. 2 points in for Dragon City Nerd, 136. So it is 55 Cupcake Fairy then jamming for Eastvic. And getting on through and picking up lead jammer. And looks like 9-5. Just got the two blockers out in front. Eastvic bringing it in terms of their defence here on the Dragon City jammer. Because of Kapow finding a way through on the outside part of turn 4, gets on through. Pack now coming down off the back straightaway. So Eastvic calling that one off. And picking up 4 points. Dragon City picking up 2. And just 8 points in it now. 138 playing 130. And just on 9 minutes to go in this game. The Witches of Eastvic have called for a team timeout. And if you haven't bought your raffle tickets, ladies and gentlemen, I suggest you make your way over and do so. There's also a cake stand, plenty of food here today as well. And guess the lolly jar. So gold coin donation, and you can guess how many lollies are in the lolly jar. From getting this one back underway. Going to be taking on number 51, that's Melon. The two jammers on the jammer start line. So this one is underway as the pack now coming through into turns 1 and 2, but unfortunately It's a cut track then for Nice to Meet You. It's a power jam now for Mellon. Mellon got on through, picked up lead jammer. Nice bit of defence there from the Witches, taking Mellon to the outside part of turn 3. Nice call off there by Dragon City, obviously keeping the Witches jammer in the penalty box. So it'll be a power jam start then for Dragon City Nerd. And number 22, that's Argy Bargy on the jammer start line. So get this one underway. So Argy now trying to find a way to get through and maximise this power jam. Number 9, Natta Ninetails, having none of it, but then met solidly with some defensive work from Dragon City Nerd. But getting on through on the outside of turn number 2. Argy Bargy is a lead jammer. So as one jammer enters the penalty box, the other is released. So that's 1-3, Nice to Meet You. Penalty serve now back out on track. He's going to go setting about closing this 12-point deficit as it currently stands. Nice to Meet You. Witches of Eastvic as the pack now comes down the main straightaway. Nice to Meet You trying to find some room on the inside part of the main straightaway. That's not going to work. But successfully so on the outside part of turn number 1. Nice to Meet You picking up 4 points. Whilst all that was going on, 22, Argy Bargy has been released out of the penalty box and now back out on track. Both teams more than happy just to slow things right up coming into turn number 2. Both jammers trying to find a way through. Argy Bargy does it better and picks up 4 points. Nice move then from Nice to Meet You on the inside part of the main straightaway, getting on through. Both teams now trying to jostle for front position, not going to happen. So 55 Cupcake Fairy, 95 Keswick Pow are the two jammers on track at the moment. And Cupcake Fairy for Eastvic getting on through, picking up lead jammer. Just what they were hoping for, to see if they can't bridge this 12-point gap. So Cupcake Fairy then just trying to navigate past KTKO. No easy job, but does so with a nice little turn off of turn number 2. And not to be outdone, Keswick Power also getting through, picking up 4 points. Mr. Pat now comes into turn number 3. Both jammers on that previous jam picking up 6 points each. Dragon City Nerd on 156, Witches of Eastvic on 144. Nice to Meet You, 1-3, jamming for Eastvic. 12-0. No, correction, I'll hold that. Nice Dimitri getting on through, picking up lead jammer for Eastvic. It is in fact 51 Mellon jamming for Dragon City. So Zapat then coming through into turn number 4. Nice to meet you, just getting the 4 points and happy to do so before calling it off. As we see things now on the scoreboard tightening right up. Good close games rather is what we like to see. 22 it is then Argy Bargy for Dragon City. 55 Cupcake Fairy for Eastvic. Defense coming thick and fast, but it's number 22 Argy Bargy getting on through, picking up lead jammer for Dragon City. Pack just, well, they're coming through turn 1 and 2 slowly, but no sort of real urgency about anything at the moment, except for Argy Bargy, who's trying to get on through there. Number 10 KTKO coming through with the O just to bust things up. Argy Bargy getting on through. Happy enough to get those points and then call it off. So Dragon City just adding 4 points, taking him up to 160. And the Witches of Eastvic still on 148. So it is a power jam start then for number 9-5. That's Keza Kapow for Dragon City. Eastvic are going to try everything they can in their power to try and stop the Dragon City jammer from getting on through and see if they can't take care of this 12-point deficit. So it is then number 55, Cupcake Fairy, has been released out of the penalty box. And Cupcake Fairy has got some work to do, but gets on through. KTKO. Cupcake Fairy picking up lead jam, and then for Eastvic, nice bit of defence then from number 09, that's Natto Ninetails then on Keza Kapow. So both jammer refs now just going to make sure that all points are catered for. So that rolling whistle then brings an end to this one. Dragon City Nerd 160 take a 9-point victory over the Witches of Eastvic on 151. Has to be said, a very, very strong second half by the Witches there to bridge what was a sizable gap at half time. So obviously big congratulations then to the Nerdy Dragons, Dragon City Nerd 160.